ITV, sponsored by LG.
Red alert, red alert. Michael Schumacher's new Ferrari is here, rushed into action as the champions look to resume normal service. But Renault are on a hot winning streak. Fernando Alonso's the top man. There's respect from ex-teammate Trulli. Mr. Briatore is bopping. The Bahrainis love their racing, camels, horses or F1 cars. It's race day for our second Grand Prix in the desert. We're in the Renault headquarters at the hugely impressive £100 million Sakhir circuit, where the Ferraris enjoyed a perfect weekend on our first visit last year. They annexed the front row in qualifying. Michael Schumacher and Barrichello were first to the checkered flag. Hello there. Lovely setup at Renault as well. There's a new team on the block this year. Flavio Briatore is the boss. You're on top, Flavio. Are you there to stay?
Well, for the moment, we are in top, but it's... competition is very hard, and Ferrari is back with Schumi. I believe it's good for the spectator now, you know, because it was easy for us the first two races. This one, this one is very hard, and the temperature is very hard. But you know, Fernando done a very good job. We are in pole, and we try to stay just to the end of the race.
You've always said that 2005 is going to be your year. Heck of a start for you all.
I know, but the program we done in Renault, we start this new adventure with Renault in 2001. And always we said, you know, 2005 is the year of Renault, and we need winning a race. For the moment, we've done quite well.
You enjoy those victories, don't you? Bit of dancing, bit of clenched fist. You like it when you win. You like that feeling.
No, you have a lot of tension during 1 hour and 45, you know. Start from now, before the car go to the grid, and really, it's kind of the way you finish and you're winning is great. It's a great feeling.
And as the boss, just sum up finally the feeling for us in the Renault garage with the Grand Prix round the corner. It's a lovely atmosphere.
Yeah, we are a young team, you know, and I believe the mechanics have fun. You know, have fun. We know we have a lot of responsibility, but I believe we need working with fun as well, you know, relaxing, and you see people smiling before the race. And this is important because more relaxed you are, less mistake you make. And really, we need to make everybody not so tense, because it's very, very easy to put a mistake. You know, we have two great victories, and for the moment we are in the top of the world, and we try to stay. And everybody know someday we're losing as well, but you know, I hope it's not today.
Have fun this afternoon. We appreciate the invitation to your headquarters. Thank you very much indeed, Flavio.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
That makes great reading, that for Flavio Briatore and anyone else wearing a Renault uniform. Alonso, the first Spaniard to lead the Drivers' Championship on 16. Teammate Fisichella, the only other man in double figures. Renault trying to win 3 successive races for the first time. Trulli, he's going well for Toyota. Barrichello, he's having a horrible weekend. Montoya's out with a mysterious shoulder injury. The Spaniard De La Rosa replaces him in the McLaren. Red Bull's clean and Coulthard have scored at both races so far. Just 2 points, but Michael Schumacher 11th and screaming for new machinery. Saturday's qualifying one was the first genuine test. Over to Ted Kravitz.
This is the car Ferrari hope will beat Renault. It was a gamble to rush its introduction, but it paid off for Schumacher, who showed good pace in first qualifying. No such luck for teammate Barrichello, who had to qualify with a sick gearbox. They've since replaced it, and they hope the new gearbox will be more reliable. But how's he dealing with the pressure?
Just keeping calm and setting up the car the way I can, because I cannot touch mechanically now, but the way I can, I will put it right, and then eventually I will come up on the race.
You know, he did one lap in the new car on Friday. He doesn't really know the car. He didn't have any experience with these tyres which we chose. So really he did a fantastic job.
Michael's lap time put him in the top 3. It turned out he could have pushed even harder.
In some ways it was quite a conservative lap, because we can see from the data that Michael was making sure he got a solid lap time in and didn't make any mistakes. A little bit nervous on the first corner. But I think it gives us reasons to be optimistic with this new car.
He wasn't expected to be this competitive, honestly, and it's a great relief to see how good we can do.
He then had to wait and see what everyone else could do. Jarno Trulli showed Toyota's pace in Malaysia wasn't a flash in the pan as he smashed through the 1:30 barrier. But the backslapping would be short-lived. Fernando Alonso took advantage of running last on a cleaned-up track to out-qualify his old teammate by more than a tenth. Better luck next time, Michael. Of the Brits, an understeering David Coulthard was outpaced by teammate Christian Klein. While BAR paid for their retirements in Malaysia, having to go out early meant 12th was the most Jenson Button could achieve on a lightly sand-dusted track.
Mix 5 Jenson, not as quick as we'd have liked.
Well, did Jenson find any speed in this morning's qualifying too? Find out when you rejoin us. Get a warm Arabian welcome in Bahrain. They are not kidding. Current temperature 42 degrees, 56 on the track. Well, you probably know the form by now. 2 sessions added up to decide the grid. Here's James Allen and Martin Brundle with the story of this morning's qualifying 2.
A very difficult weekend for Rubens Barrichello, hardly any time in the car, and a second gearbox failure in second qualifying.
Yes, they've got to change that engine and gearbox, would put them at the back of the grid. Difficult decision. Can they get him through the Grand Prix? Can they even get him to the start line?
Well, David Coulthard out in the Red Bull racing car. He's under a lot of pressure from teammate Christian Klein, who outperformed him in first qualifying, and again in second qualifying as well. Coulthard down in 14th place.
Yes, struggling with the crosswinds and not delivering a good time. Jenson Button finished 11th ahead of teammate Sato, but both British drivers in the second half of the grid. Bad news, although the afternoon is yet young.
BAR struggling with the aerodynamics of that car. Some work to be done there. But one team very much on the move at the moment is Toyota. Ralf Schumacher, the standout driver of the session.
Without doubt, he had the best opportunity to leapfrog up the grid, and he did that. 11th up to an eventual 6th place. Good effort from Ralf after yesterday's mistake.
McLaren's qualifying problems continue. 8th and 9th places, and Raikkonen outperformed by Pedro de la Rosa, standing in for Juan Pablo Montoya.
Big pressure at McLaren, Mercedes-Benz then, especially because Williams BMW are really getting their act together. Heidfeld will be 4th, Mark Webber 5th. The car looking better and better.
Nothing to choose between these two drivers. A wonderful performance by both of them, pushing BMW Williams further to the front of the grid.
Reigning world champion Michael Schumacher still finding out all about this new F2005 car, and did he make it work? Really surprising everybody, despite that huge moment in turn 4. How he keeps forward motion while the car's virtually sideways is amazing. Over the line he goes, and now Jarno Trulli in the Toyota and later Alonso are suddenly under much greater pressure than they expected.
Trulli looking at being on the front row of the grid for the 3rd Grand Prix of the season, but he knew that lap of Michael Schumacher's was very special. Early on, Trulli looking good, on target to keep the front row, but by the end of the lap, Schumacher's brilliance had outdone him. He slips to the 2nd row with only Alonso to go.
Truly complaining of oversteer, understeer, difficulty in the windy conditions, but Alonso under supreme pressure then really got to deliver up a lap, and it looked neat and tidy. The nose of the car really going beautifully into the corners. It's working so well. Over the line he goes. A superb pole from Alonso. The team were delighted. Michael Schumacher deflated.
Pole, mate, pole. Brilliant lap.
If you look Malaysia and other races, we have struggled a little bit more for the single lap compared to race performance.
I'm third, and if I have to look at the positive side, is that I am on the clean side of the track at the start.
Starting in the pole and dominated the weekend, and we have to be careful, don't make mistakes, and hopefully the car will be strong enough to finish the race without problems.
So once again, a really exciting looking grid with 4 different makes of cars occupying the top 4 spaces. But Martin, what sort of sense have you got of how much fuel everyone's going to be carrying this afternoon? Do you think they're all more or less on the same strategy?
I think so. They'll be going into the early 20s. You have to assume Alonso and Trulli felt they could run a little bit more fuel. It looks to me like the 2 Schumacher brothers may have gone a little bit light to improve their grid slots. We've seen in the first 2 races just how much they've been hurting if they're mid-pack. They're 20 seconds adrift after 5 laps.
What I'm really looking forward to this afternoon, though, is Alonso versus Michael Schumacher, the 7-time world champion, against the man trying to become the youngest ever world champion. He would be 24 if he could do it.
Goes for 3rd place. He'll be ruining not trying a little bit harder in those last couple of corners.
The grid for the 2nd ever Bahrain Grand Prix, and a super second pole on the trot for Alonso, but Schumi right there, 2nd in the new car despite a big slide, and truly 3rd for Toyota. Heidfeld beat Webber for 4th. Ralf Schumacher improving from 11th to 6th. Klein 7th, beating Coulthard. Della Rosa starts 8th, his first Grand Prix since the end of 02. And Raikkonen down in 9th. Fisichella drops 5 places. Button 11th. Massa Sauber 12th. Sato 13th. Coulthard 14th after handling problems. And Villeneuve still struggling, he's 15th. Montero beats Kartikeyan. Albers and Friesacker, who have both had to change engines. Barrichello right at the back after continuing gearbox problems in a Grand Prix that threatens to have the hottest race temperatures ever. So will the brand new Ferraris be able to stand the heat?
Tony with me in the paddock now. Fernando Alonso and Michael Schumacher side by side, the young gun, the old champion. A bit of history as well between the two, isn't there?
Bit of history from the British Grand Prix. I think Fernando will well remember being taken off and put onto the grass down at Stoke Corner at 170 miles an hour by Michael Schumacher. And this is really the old master, as you say, against the young pretender. Will Michael be worried about reliability? Will he be thinking about perhaps giving Fernando a nudge into turn 1 and getting him out of the way? He's quite professional at doing that.
Rushing cars into action is not the Ferrari way of doing things, is it?
It's not. The strategy is totally misfired, Jim, of using the old car. And there was a certain degree of arrogance, as Ralf Schumacher said, in doing that when there were so many regulation changes. But how much has this cost them? 5-week shortcut. They must have stopped the car production, the foundries and everything. Only Ferrari could afford to do this out of their 300 million plus budget. Must have cost millions and millions.
Tony, thank you very much indeed. Well, we are counting down to the start of the Middle East only Grand Prix then here in Bahrain. Small kingdom, population around 800,000, and they're justifiably very proud of this marvellous facility that opened last year. The Sakhir circuit has certainly stepped up a gear in the last 12 months. It provides an astonishing racing experience.
Is a camel hump with a difference. It's part of the new £3 million off-road facility, which opened here just a few days ago. A rally sprint circuit and rally kart track are due to follow. Or if you don't fancy getting down and dirty, you can sign up for some lessons at the circuit at the BMW Performance School, the first racing school to open in the Middle East.
But most people just prefer to sit and watch. Formula One's appeal knows no boundaries. They may not have any home drivers or teams over here, but our Arabian hosts are big fans. Well, the locals know better than to sit out in the baking sun all day, and they like a bit of luxury. And that's why they built this massive VVIP tower here, and why Bahrain has more hospitality facilities than any other circuit in the world.
Here Here in the paddock, there's definitely more established feel than there was last year. 12 months ago, the paint was barely dry and there were just a few pot plants to complete the last-minute makeover. Now the carpets have been fitted and the sofas have been delivered. It's definitely more homely.
Also new for this year, something for young fans with short attention spans. So the kids have got plenty to do while their parents watch the action. And you never know, one of these youngsters might just be the next world champion.
What do you think of the season so far? Early days, but it's shaping up quite well, isn't it?
Fantastic. It's the best season I've seen for a very long time. It's open. You see teams that haven't been competitive before, like Toyota, for example. The Renaults are so drivable right now. The drivers really find it, I think, relatively easily to go quickly. And that's a sign of a good car. Whether the season will hold up for them in that respect, both of those teams, is another matter, because clearly Ferrari are going to improve, clearly McLaren are going to improve, and Williams are going to improve. Aerodynamic, they're still not getting the grip that they would like to have, and because of their resources, they're going to improve.
But generally speaking, it looks like it's going to be a far closer fight this year, which I guess will bode well for our forthcoming British Grand Prix.
Oh, terrific. I think it's leading up to being a fantastic British Grand Prix because it's a half-season issue. And when you get to the halfway mark, you really want to have a good Grand Prix. Silverstone's famous for passes to take place. The last two Grand Prix have been sensational. So I think it's going to be a great British Grand Prix with more potential winners than we've ever seen probably in the last 7 years.
Thanks, Jackie.
My pleasure.
July the 10th, the date of the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Tickets are going fast. Get a move on if you want to be there. Well, despite the sad news from Rome, the Grand Prix world races on, but there's a somber mood today among the Italian drivers and teams. Here's Ted again.
Yes, indeed, Jim. And down here on the grid with Rubens Barrichello and his Ferrari, you can see their very dignified tribute here on the Ferrari nose cone, reflecting their wishes and the respects of everyone at Fiat and in Italy. All sport's been cancelled in Italy. This race isn't being shown on Italian television, and everyone is very somber mood down here at Ferrari. Jarno Trulli also giving his personal tribute on his helmet this weekend. He was very close. His marriage was actually blessed by the Vatican, believe it or not, so he's hoping for a good, safe race this afternoon. So let's get the rest of the news in Formula One then, including the latest goings-on at McLaren. Exactly how did Juan Pablo Montoya break his shoulder blade? That's the hot topic in the paddock after news of the Colombian's injury broke this week. So should the tennis court be out of bounds to F1 drivers?
You're obviously making reference to the rumour in the paddock that he actually fell off a motocross bike instead. Well, you know, I'll speak to Jerry Convey, his trainer, who was my trainer last year, and see whether he's sworn to secrecy or not. But someone else made the comment that, you know, when fat people try and get fit, they tend to suffer injuries. And, you know, I think that was a bit harsh.
I'm sure you've heard some of the suggestions around the paddock, the rumours that Juan Pablo actually might have fallen off his motocross bike.
I know. I don't want to get involved in the whole situation.
I mean, the amusing thing is, even if it had happened, you know, that in itself wouldn't be an issue. I don't tell the guys not to be on trials bikes or anything like that. And if they want to pursue a passion, I expect them to do it with some degree of common sense. I've got a wonderful formula for them being sensible. If they don't drive, they don't get paid. So it's a pretty expensive, you know, tennis incident.
An expensive mistake too from Jacques Villeneuve in qualifying, as rumours surface of his manager Craig Pollock looking for a drive for Jacques in America in case he's pushed out of F1.
The reputation has been, it's been hammered in reality, but on the other hand, I mean, Jacques is a very tough character and he isn't a world champion for nothing at all.
And how's this for changing fortunes? Bahrain 2004, Jenson Button finishes second. Now, 12 months on, what's his target for today's race?
I think a points finish would be good at the moment. I was hoping for a bit more, but we're just not quick at the moment.
It's been nothing but bad news for Rubens Barrichello so far. I suppose the only good point to take from that is the only way is up.
Yeah, the only way is up, and it's, you know, I never had a weekend like that. I mean, I've done 2 time laps on Friday and 1 yesterday and 1 now. So it's impossible just to get to know the car. So I'm just going, open my smile up and just drive as fast as I can. If the car can finish the race, I'm sure I can still score points. So that's the only way I can look at the race.
Well, at least you should be still nice and fresh.
Yeah, I'm fresh. I have no problems with my back. I have no problems with fatigue. So at that point, everyone is suffering from the heat. I've been on the aircon just back there for a couple of days, so I'm fine.
Hope it gets better for you. Thanks, Ruben.
Thank you.
Rubens Barrichello, front row to last in Bahrain. Things change. Is that Ferrari? Is his Ferrari going to last, Tony? Is Michael Schumacher's Ferrari going to last? You ask the question, you answer it.
Well, it seems there's only one golden gearbox, and it's in the back of Michael Schumacher's Ferrari, because Rubens has had to make do with the older of the gearboxes, and they've patched up. I don't think it'll last very long. And there, of course, is Michelin man, the big boss, who's looking after all the tyres here. And it's very, very difficult to ascertain whether Bridgestone or Michelin are going to last in these incredibly high temperatures. The
Felipe Massa, 200th Grand Prix for Sauber, and he's been going a lot better than Villeneuve. Villeneuve's future in doubt, isn't it?
Villeneuve is 1.4 seconds behind him on the grid, and Jacques said this morning at least he didn't go off as he did in the final corner, which you're looking at there, turn 15 up in the distance.
Tony, thank you very much indeed. Well, Fernando Alonso, is he going to win again today? Give us your views and your questions as well. Our email address, paddock@itv-f1.com. Website is flourishing on itv.com/f1. Tony's your man on this week's Ask the Team. And now we have a competition for you. Don't forget, we run one every Grand Prix weekend. We're offering a great trip to Monaco after the answer to our Malaysian question.
Last week's prize was a cracker. We gave away a driving experience of a lifetime, including a ride in a proper F1 car. The question was who won the first Malaysian Grand Prix. The answer, of course, Eddie Irvine. The winner, Tony McLaughlin of Luton. This week's prize is even better, a trip for two to the Monaco Grand Prix. It includes flights, hotels, and seats so good you'll be able to smell the engine oil. So to be the envy of all your friends, just answer this simple question. Which driver has won the most Monaco Grand Prix? Is it A, Alain Prost, B, Michael Schumacher, or C, Ayrton Senna? The number to dial 0901 293 2020 or text F1 plus A, B or C to 63337. Calls cost £1, texts also cost £1 plus your standard network rate, but be quick about it. Lines close midday this coming Thursday.
Thanks, Ted. Good luck with that. We're a couple of hours ahead of you here. It's 2:15 in baking Bahrain. The race due off in just under 15 minutes time. I reckon there'll be about 30 to 35,000 people here. That's about the capacity for the Sakhir circuit, built on the side of an old camel farm, actually in rapid time about a year ago. Let's go down to that grid now, shall we? Well, Martin always loves mixing with the movers and shakers, and in this part of the world, Martin, well, you run across monarchs and sheikhs, don't you?
There seems to be plenty of people down here. You can't, this is official. I've never seen the grid as busy as this. Take a look down there, Matt. Just give us a shot of that and the grandstands. Absolutely incredible. But on pole, we've got the current World Championship leader, Alonso, who just beat Michael Schumacher, the reigning world champion. He shaded him in qualifying. And look, interestingly, he's in the shade here on the grid too. It's going to be much grippier down on this side. Michael parked out there in the sun, and I just want to have a quick word with Fernando, if we can pole sitter. Fernando, you were so cool after your lap. They said to you, you're on pole. You said, okay, how can you be so cool?
No, I don't know. I knew that the lap was good, and the advantage with Michael yesterday was, I think, reasonable, and I was happy, but probably I expect more competition from Jarno than from Michael today.
So you're not really expecting Michael to have the true speed for the entire Grand Prix?
Yeah, I expect Michael to have, but because the gap yesterday was nearly 4 tenths, I knew that I was not much worried to make for quali.
Yeah, so you're expecting him to come in earlier for the pistol. Now, I notice you're fully in the shade here. Michael's parked in the sun. Should be a lot more grip on this racing line, and your car's great off the line anyway.
Yeah, it should be better here in Bahrain to start here in the clean side, and hopefully we can do a good start and arrive first in the first corner, which is 20% of the race here in Bahrain.
Good luck. Thank you. Right, let's head over and see. So Michael Schumacher will be 8 meters behind. That's the starting grid slot. And let's just see if we can have a quick word with Jean Todt. Jean, is this a genuine front row grid position? You think you got the race strategy parked there?
Time will tell.
Yeah, but you're confident.
No, you know, I'm never confident because so many things can happen. It's so hot outside. First proper race with a new F2005. So, but we will try.
You must have been pretty satisfied this morning, but yours and Michael's face were actually very long. I thought you'd be ecstatic to be on the front row with a brand new car.
Oh, you know, we see tonight after the race finishes.
You're not giving me anything to work with there. Thank you, Sean, and good luck. Right, we see if we can go and gate crash. There's a bit of a party here. I mean, I'm probably going to get thrown out of here, but we're in this together. If I go down in flames, we're all going down in flames here. And let's see if we can just get a word with Bernie. Have you got a minute for us? So, what do you think of this new format and this year's season so far? I haven't had a chance to talk to you yet.
No, it's good, isn't it? I mean, you know, whatever we've done, luck or whatever, we've done it right. And we've got what we wanted.
Okay, and the bankers seem to be giving you a bit of a hard time, the German boys. Are they beating up on you?
Well, they're bigger than me, but I don't know if they're succeeding or not.
So that's okay, is it? Because we read they were saying they'd won something quite significant from you, and you might be, put a bit out of position on that.
No, I don't. Well, I mean, I'm still the chief executive, so until they fire me, I'm in good shape.
You must be ecstatic to come to venues like this, and the hospitality's amazing here, isn't it?
You do a wonderful job here. I mean, it was hard work to get these people to do what they've done, but I mean, that's what we've made it happen. It's been good.
And who was the banker who took the wheels off your car? Have you found him yet?
But we will. Banker, did you say?
I hope so.
We'll find them. Thanks a lot, Martin.
See you later, and I'm going to throw back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Martin. He is still looking for them, I am sure. There we are in the reigning champions side by side with the super cool Fernando Alonso ahead of them, that 1,000-metre straight to the first corner. Heidfeld and the Williams, Trulli and the Toyota, both wants another podium at least. Scoring equals success for the Brits, Button and Coulthard. And I am told this is going to be the hottest race ever as the track temperature hits 54 degrees. We are all set for a sizzler in Bahrain.